My apologies about that. OBS crashed on me, so now we're rebooted. Good to go. Let's kill the music. Gonna make sure that everything's running up fine. Real fast. I know, excuses, excuse. I'm sorry. Okay. We're back. Sorry about that. So, of course, this is going to be game number 2 of our IPL 250 semifinals. This is going to be the other lobby that was happening. We were watching game number 1. In this one, of course, we've got Bad Borgus and Jonakino from Team Sura. We have Furies and Wolverine from Team Hype. I'm a Fishy from Team Hype. Zabrojson, Ole's Nariba, and Hoshi from Team Atlas. To recap where we currently stand here in this tournament, for this lobby in particular. What ends up happening here, it's going to be Wolverine leading the charge alongside I'm a Fishy, Nariba, Jonakino, Bad Borgus, Zabrojson, Hoshi, and Fury Hype. So, possible, or lots of potential for shakeups in this game as we go on forth. Wolverine getting a beautiful start. Definitely has them sitting pretty, but again, we've seen on a handful of occasions, they'll get a good start one time, but then unfortunately drop the ball a second when they're kind of in a pressure position. Kind of same thing with Nariba though, so they're not the only ones, and I don't blame you, it's a tough time, it's a tough competition. Alright, let's go through the field here and see what everybody's running. So we have Bad Borgus going to be picking up the Nature Rogue weapon. Jonakino is going to be picking up the Water Blaster. That's the Water Scion weapon. We do have the Nature Scion weapon coming out here from Wolverine. We have the Water Bulwark, the Tank Flail coming out here for Zabrojson. Furies has the Fire Buckler. Then we have I'm a Fishy with the Earth Mauler, Nariba with the Water Rogue weapon, and Hoshi also picking up the Fire Buckler. It's interesting to me to see that's from a weapon that's been basically not used at all in top level play, that the Emberling Rod has been showing up a lot more often as of late. Definitely something interesting to me. And then you'll see some of these augments, of course, have that gold border around it. We have legendary augments in play here today. Big thanks to the Shard Bluff region that we're playing with, where every player gets to start off with one legendary augment right off the rip, and you can kind of build your team around it. We see, for example, this Greater Fire Doka having, or not even the Doka now, it's over here onto the Penguin, the Berserker's Flurry, giving the additional attack speed and attack range to the Penguin, which is usually already hard enough to kill. So, little things like that could absolutely turn this game around on its head. Maybe ended up a little quicker, ended up a little bit longer, depending on what kind of augments come into play. But we'll have to see. Nariba and I'm a Fishy battling it out, looking for that rogue here for Nariba. Big damage from the Ranger, and the little slap in is going to help finish the job here. I'm a Fishy going to take the hit. Of course, reminder, after this semifinal match, I'm not going to be able to stick around for results or stick around to take a look at the other lobby. I need to hop on into the Discord and set things up with the Illuvium broadcast. Kaz and Caveman, I think they're waiting for me. Just got to get situated there so we can do the grand finals on the Illuvium stream. Oh, we got I'm a Fishy one more time with that Earth Mauler going up against Fury, who again is not opting for rogues, but instead opting for Bunker. We do see 5 Bulwark, 2 Harbinger coming up again. But we still got so much tankiness to deal with here with this 5 Earth and 2 Mystic composition coming out here from I'm a Fishy. So let's see how this one goes. We do have the Omni Spark onto that Axon, so if it gets targeted down, it will have an emergency button to get out of dodge, but normally you kind of want that augment or a carry, and with this bunker composition, there isn't really much of one, not as of this moment, and we're seeing just tank after tank just kind of ends up falling. But I get at the same time though, you get that Harbinger, you get the bonus Omega power and resistances when your health is low. So having that emergency button could very well turn that Axon into the carry, but it's got to get there first. As of right now, it's not been targeted enough to even proc it and the emergency button until now. That's this overtime pulsings are coming on through, and at this point, it's too little too late. Unfortunate for Furies, I see what they were going for, but it does not work this time. Let's take a look at the top of the lobby this time. Zabrojson, our TFT professional, coming on through, now leading game number 2 after a little bit of a rougher game 1. Finished 6th in the first one. Now going up against Wolverine. Wolverine with the Wildfire going up against the heavy water of Zabrojson. Curious to see how this goes. Scion Link's going to come immediately destroy that Groko, but the immunity and the untargetability coming out here from that little dash in the back here for Zabrojson is definitely going to be annoying, but we can see the fire. It is spreading onto the water units. That is an absolute strike coming out here from that Arcane Scion Phoenix. Lynx. And it will absolutely destroy Zabrojson in this instance. Seen all the wildfire, and it looked like a Phoenix to me, apparently. Yeah, the kids just wrapped up their bowling about an hour ago. Happy to report that my little one got their first spare, so we're leveling up in the world. I want to take a look one more time, not Jerry. Let's take a look at Hoshi. Fishy. I haven't seen Borgus yet. What's Borgus up to? It'll be Borgus versus Wolverine. I know we just saw Wolverine, but I want to see what Borgus is up to. Double ramp fee already? Let's see how this one goes. Can they somehow thread the needle and get to that Arcane Lynx and maybe the Ranger? See how this one goes. Awkward spot for the Rampy that has the augments. It's really stuck off to the left-hand side. The other Rampy that was in the good position does end up falling. Charm brings them on in. They are going to be able to destroy the Krunk, but they do lose the Rampy. Arcane Lynx is still alive. Ranger's still alive. They have plenty of AoE to try and get this done. There's the seed. It's going to drop the one Rampy extremely low, but not enough to take it down. And there's just a high enough health bar here for Bad Borgus to get the job done onto Wolverine. NPC round, let's take a look and see what's going on. Jonah Kino does have the fully evolved Stage 3 Lynx. Arcane Hydra Lynx coming in through. Is there anything else like super major notable as of right now? I would argue no. A lot of players still looking for their first Stage 3s. Still trying to get their compositions in order. One thing a little awkward here for Fury as well as Hoshi. Of course, they both start off the same fire weapon, but they also do seem like they're kind of going for the same kind of style in terms of team composition. So they're running each other over. They both have Axons. They both have Archies. And Nature Fire both seem to be on the docket there for them. Contested, and now I'm gonna have to battle each other, I'm sure. Bad Borgus now up against Jonah Kino. This is our top 2 players in the lobby as of this moment. Jonah Kino has more health, so I'm going to switch over, make them green in this instance. A lot of rogues here for the side of Bad Borgus. 7 rogues fully locked in. But again, you might have the mass, you might have the multitude of rogues in this instance, but you do not have really strong ones at this moment. And Arcane Hydrolinks, if things go their way, could absolutely just destroy this squad. They're going right after the Lura. It chunks it down to basically a quarter, but then of course it retargets, so it's not going to be able to finish it. One more shot coming out from the Lynx. Where does it go? Straight down. Rampy's going to get taken down. And the auto attack damage coming out here from the Lynx. It's good. There's one more shot coming on through, taking care of the Ranger. Now it's just a matter of dealing with the tanks. Is there enough of a snowball effect now that the untargetable has come through? There goes the Scarabok. Lynx, are you going to be able to clutch this out? One more shot before the charm comes down. And Jonah Kino's Arcane Hydrolinks just 1v3 to clutch the game out for them. Beautiful stuff there from that Lynx, and I'm sure that Officially was wishing that Goliath came one round sooner. I like the fact that they threw the rogue imprint onto it as well, so that beetle just dives directly into the back line. Could not quite get it here this time. We just saw Borges. Kino, Furies, what's going on? You and Wolverine's approach said I feel like I haven't necessarily rolled with you much yet. Let's see what's going on. 8 water, 2 steam coming out here for Zbrojden, up against a full 7 earth, 2 granite, mystic style composition here from Officially. Let's see how this goes. Alfie, shots fired right through the one front line that had the legendary augment. That is going to hurt here for the side of Officially. The Rake tearing up the back line as well. Gorilla comes through, does take care of the Alfie, but the real carry here, that Rake is still here firing on all cylinders. Now it's just a matter of getting the TNT involved as well, and it will destroy Officially. Getting the hyper because the type advantage definitely helped in that scenario as well. Let that Rake go absolutely nuts. Heck, even the Ranger was super effective against that squad. So Officially, I mean, that's a great composition that they have. A very, very cool team, but definitely need to keep an eye on that type advantage or type disadvantage that they had to mess with. And I think this is from Zbrojden's side as well. If they have combat rhythm where they get the Omnivamp and attack damage, this is where you start to see Umbers and Rakes, they kind of run away with the game. Could very well be the start of the end here for this lobby. Well, she's definitely been having a little bit of a hard time here so far. Curious to see how their little bunker composition is going to end up holding up. Take one more look at this water comp here of Zbrojden before swapping out, I think. 5 Bulwark, 3 Scions. I mean, they do have the Furiox, but it really doesn't have the augments that it would want at this point in the game. And given the positioning here of that Alfie, I do feel like I might just ever so slightly tag the Furiox. Rake's going to go untargetable, and here comes the first shot from the Alfie, directly into the TNT as well as that Archos. And now that opens the door here for this Rake to just go absolutely nuts against the back line. This one not even close here. Hoshi going to take some major damage. So many Scions on the board, but the Scions aren't even necessarily the true threat in that instance. Brutal stuff coming out here. But of course, this isn't the only full water team that we really have going on here. We do have on the side, Jonah Kino, of course, does have all of their eggs in the basket of this Arcane Hydrolinks, which is a little bit scary. And let's see what Wolverine can do against them. Alfie will have absolutely full free reign to shoot towards that Hydrolinks. If the Hydrolinks can even get into the fight, okay, there it goes. It's a decent little position. That should be going right through the entirety of the back line. Maybe not the entirety, but it did get a good chunk here onto the Alfie. Meanwhile, that Arcane Hydrolinx has barely been touched. But the front line here from Jonakino is showing its weakness. Shot from the Ranger going to take care of the Alfie. Shot from the Arcane Lynx is going to take care of some of the front line. But they're starting to get converged on slowly but surely. The Arcane Hydrolinx still does have its emergency button. One more shot, not going to tag the Twine. The Twine is there, the Ranger's there. Arcane Lynx on the other side is there, it's gonna get tagged. But it got burst right through the invulnerability. It does not matter. The shot that did the most amount of damage was enough to go through the emergency button and take care of Jonakino, giving Zabrojson the lead back here in this one. As Zabrojson ate water, Jonakino ate water. Furies with the magma bunker. Bit of a nature bunker with a little bit of toxic coming out from Wolverine. Nariba's got the mud composition, but they're still just a little bit short. They don't have the gorillas. And that is probably because I'm a Fishy is also holding gorillas. And Bad Borgus also has gorillas. So this is absolute nightmare scenario here for Ole's Nariba. And then Hoshi does have Steam online as well, but they're going to be directly competing with the leader of this lobby. Probably won't be a good time in that regard. Let's see, Fishy versus Fury. See how this one through. In theory, I mean, Fury's squad looks pretty decent now. It is 6 nature. It's got plenty of passive regen on top of the magma. They don't even have to truly bunker. They could if they wanted to, but they're probably going to do like a semi-bunker. Yeah, there it goes. Meanwhile, the earth and granite. Yes, the squad can last for a while, and there's a little bit of damage on the squad. But they don't have that killer carry that Furies does at this moment. Yes, they've got tank, but they don't have necessarily the damage to get this fight in the bag. Let's see how it goes. As of right now, the Groko is going to be the first thing focused, but a good stun going to slow things down as the magma will begin to spread here for Fury. Good stun coming out from the Goliaths on the side of I'm a Fishy. These shields coming on through are making things a little bit difficult. Blood gonna try and heal up everybody here on the side of I'm a Fishy. And to be fair, they're getting some distance into this bunker, but this magma is spreading, and it's just been constant ticking damage here as that Furiox goes nuts in the background. They still have the Omni Spark to try and get out of here. The Monkier, the Ranger, they're now on top of it. But there's just so much tank. The overtime pulse is going to come on through. Going to basically render this invulnerability from the Furiox's Omnispark useless. And sure enough, actually, I'm a Fishy. May not have necessarily had the damage, but you don't need it if you can rely on the overtime pulses. Beautifully done. Stall that one out, even on top of the magma, and winning that. Hoshi's starting to get a little bit closer towards elimination here in this game. The 7th and the last one. This would definitely hurt and eliminate them from the tournament if they were to go down this early again. Gonna try and rely on pretty much all eggs in the basket of this Rake, jumping into the left-hand corner and coming back down onto the Chakondi, but it is going to be targeted for just a moment's time by the Stabbin as well as the Gorilla. Gorilla is going to leave it alone, but now the Rake is stuck on the clone. While all this is happening, the mud units are just sapping away at this Rake, and a big old chunk of damage coming out there from that Ranger to seal the deal. Hoshi down to 9. One more loss will mean elimination here for them. And to kind of recap the layout of this lobby. So in Game 1, it was led up by Wolverine with I'm a Fishy, Nariba, and Jonakino in the top 4. As it stands right now, Jonakino looking great. Zabrojson was 6th, I believe. and are in a position to maybe make themselves push across maybe a couple other players. Wolverine having a little bit of a rough time. Aries definitely needs a miracle of sorts to get themselves back into this tournament as a whole, finishing last in that lobby in game number 1. But let's see, it all starts right here. How does Hoshi try to hang on? You've got the bunker, you've got the Alfie. Alfie should, in theory, be shooting at one of the healers, which is pretty valuable. But can they secure some kills and secure some kills relatively quickly? The Ranger's opting not to tank for the bunker, and it's going to go after this geyser instead. Some decent chunks coming on through. Meanwhile, the bunker on the left-hand side, as this geyser's getting chopped away, is starting to fall. It's looking a little bit more worse for wear on the green side of Hoshi compared to I'm a Fishy in this instance, but with a lot of low health bars. Do they have Omnivamp? They don't have Omnivamp in the drone augments. So this Rake is going to have to do this raw. Can they get the job done? They're on top of the monk here. Can the Ranger hold the line, take care of one? Furiox is still fighting. There goes the one. Rake, can you keep on going? Up against this dastardly little Goliath. This could very well be where the road ends, and you have to do it with the pulsing overtime timer ticking down on you. That will be the elimination. A valiant effort, but Hoshi shall be eliminated here in the semifinals. Everybody else with a little bit of breathing room to kind of get the lay of the land. The biggest winner with Hoshi going down is going to be your current leader in this game, Jonah Kino. The Rakes are available now, and you see they picked up 2 of the dashes. Maybe start to try and turn this Rake into an Umber so that all the damage does not necessarily have to rely on the Arcane Hydrolinks, which of course can have a rather reckless and unpredictable shooting style with that Omega. Let's see how it goes here versus Wolverine, who's got a little bit of a Scion bunker of sorts coming on through. That Flood immediately getting popped. 1 heal, and that was it. Where is the Lynx? Can it find a shot? It took care of the Goliath. Rake plus the Lynx is going to be able to get through one of them, but not through the second tank. One more shot from the Lynx goes through the Sinolf, but it is not going to take it down. Brings it to about half. Jonah Kino is going to get turned on, and now that early game dominance is starting to fall off. This is where the Lynx starts to fall off a little bit, round 20 and onward. Still valuable in any team composition, but you have to start thinking about maybe moving some of those augments to a later game alluvial. I know there's nothing more satisfying than getting your Scion Lynx to just line up and tear through the entire team with 1 Omega. But especially when you have rogues jumping around, you got rakes jumping around to mess with your targeting. There are many times where you can just fire a shot and it goes into 1 or worse, nothing. We have the NPC round. Let's see what ends up going on down. Riptorus and Matu getting picked up here for Jonah Kino. Time to start rolling, especially since you're going to get a little bit of an influx of gold here in this NPC round. A second Sinolf, and then the Matu is being brought into the game here from Zabrojsen. Lots of Scion, lots of firepower in that squad. Could definitely burst the team down. And they have the hyper advantage going up against Nariba if necessary. The rest of these players have quite a bit to try and work for, but let's see with our let's see here with our back-to-back IPL winner going up against Zabrojsen. Of course, I'm a Fishy. Looks like they kind of went for mud, but again realized that the mud was not going to be possible as it was contested. They turned this into a 7 earth, 2 granite composition. There's a lot of burst damage on this squad. There's an Octius, there is a Sinolf, and then you still have a Furiox for some consistent damage. There's the first shot directly through so many members on the squad of I'm a Fishy, but they did manage to take care of the Octius. One more shot, good damage across many members. Once again, these Sinolf beams are finding some serious value. Is that going to be enough, though, as the Sinolf falls here from Zabrojsen? Is this enough for the Rake to go nuts? Of course, the Rake's being so hotly contested means that it's not going to be Umber just yet, but it finds a way. The Simon Fishy squad finds a way, rather, to tear through it while it comes out of its smokescreen. Catching it off guard, and I'm a Fishy will continue to live. Now it's I'm a Fishy versus Fury. Fury potentially on the verge of elimination if they do lose this battle. I mean, it's a tanky squad. It's got plenty of sustain. Heck, they even have a Blazonite now. Just have not been able to really turn this game around. The Forest on the side of I'm a Fishy is in a pretty decent position to just fire off Omegas right through the entirety of this bunker. But it's the only real major damage dealer in this instance. All right. All eyes on Blazonite, all eyes on that Furiox here on the side of Furies. If they can sustain through this one. So far, it's looking a little bit rough for that front line, though. Forest is stuck onto the Ranger. But it is still allowing it to get some pretty decent Omegas off. Good little spin there from the Singe on top of many members, but it is going to eventually be interrupted. The Furiox does end up falling, but you still have the Blazonite. The Wildfire on top of this Magma is still doing a pretty decent job. But this squad here, or I'm a Fishy, is just too dang tanky once again. Blazonite is going to end up falling. It just got stun locked like it was nobody's business. Charm into stun. Now it's basically down to no health. The Forwards will finish it off, turn on the Crunk, and that will be the end of the line here. Fury's tournament life is over. Ariba up against Borgus now. Fully loaded. Rampfire is on the squad. We don't see this too often, but this thing is absolutely devastating. Depending on what you're going up against, could very well one-shot the composition. We're going up against the 4 Mud. Does the Rampfire get touched by any Mud? Get sapped away? Any of its Omega power. The Gorilla's on top of it. It got one shot in right before. There's the big damage. Holy smokes, that took so much health off of everybody. But now all that's left is the Malura, and it's going to get a ton down. They tries. Can it do it? No. Slash in one final shot with the bear as backup is exactly enough to take care of Borgus, who will fall in 6th. Oh my gosh, the Rampfire almost turned it around. Yes, with the Penguin, the bear essentially won the game. Yes, there you go. But as these players are falling, one thing to note, the only player, or of the players that are here, nobody from the current top 4 has dropped. So for Zabrojsen to get into the grand finals here today, I think they need a win, but we'll have to see, of course, how this ends up going. Zabrojsen does have the Umber now. Firing on all cylinders, essentially just popped the healer immediately. Has the backup as well from that Sinolf, but the Forest is in the back line from the opposite end, just tearing through everything. But what will happen when that Umber gets to it? Can it get to it by itself? It's a 6-on-1. This Umber for Zabrojsen trying to win the game by itself, and it's getting stun locked, it's getting CC chained, it's getting everything used against it. The Brochson down to 19, but look at this lobby. Nariba is currently our leader with 43, but then everybody else is within striking distance of elimination. The Brochson in second with 19. Wolverine leading this lobby in terms of the tournament, sitting third with 17. I'm a Fishy 10. Jonakino with 8. Pop the teams open in just a second here. So Jonakino is currently sitting in 4th in the overall standings. If Zabrojson wants the chance to try and make grand finals, they need Jonakino to go out essentially now to get their best possible chance at making the top 4. Of course, the Broshan has to go up against the lobby leader, Jonakino. Who are you going up against? You're going up against the Ghost. Let's watch a live battle. No matter what, somebody's getting eliminated here as well. Or I feel like no matter what. And Wolverine, that's pretty close to maybe the threshold. Considering the elimination stakes here, I do want to stick onto this one because I feel like, again, somebody can go home at any point. Would it be enough to stay in the top 4 of the tournament overall? I am not sure, but we've got Wolverine, we got I'm a Fishy once again. Full 7 Earth Mystic combo, or not the full Mystic combo, still missing 1. Versus 5 Bulwark with the 4 Scions and the Invoker. A beautiful Emberling Seed on top of everybody with the lineup from the Sinolf. But thankfully the Charm coming out here from the side of I'm a Fishy is going to stop their entire team from getting one shot. Big stun coming out from the Goliath as well. This Ranger is finding some beautiful Emberling shots. But look at how much that Forest has healed. It is making things extremely difficult. Sinolf Beam one more time with the Ranger. I did not see the seed actually explode, and that could be troublesome here from Wolverine. They will end up getting tackled. One more seed shall explode, but it's not going to be enough. Wolverine is going to fall in 4th place. Jonakino is going to fall in 5th place, which now leaves us with I'm a Fishy, Zabrojson, and Nariba. Given the stakes of the tournament at hand, I think it's safe to say that Fishy and Nariba are safe. But Zabrojson had a 2-point deficit to Jonakino. Going out now, I think, would be tiebreaker scenario. Zabrojson does get to go up against the Ghost, so I'm going to go with the live battle. Because I feel like if Zabrojson can win, stay alive, and I'm a Fishy goes out, they'll make it in. But again, no guarantees until we see the final results. Earth Granite versus Earth Mud. See, Fishy, can you hang on for one more round? The 7 Rogues are doing some pretty decent damage. They've gone through Flood at least. Fishy's Forest, though, is trying to turn this one around, but of course, because of the mud, it's getting its attack damage stolen when it gets whacked. Gonna be the Forest up against the World. I'm a Fishy will not be able to hold on, and that will be the game. Zabrojson was not able to take care of the Ghost, which means our final placements here in our semifinal. Ollie's Nariba is going to win game number 2, securing themselves a grand finals visit. Zabrojson in 2nd, giving themselves their best possible chance of doing so. I'm a Fishy in 3rd. Wolverine in 4th. Jonakino in 5th. Bad Bargas is going to be 6th. Furies and Hoshi will round up the lobby. But with that being said, as much as I'd love to stick around, catch the results, and catch maybe the results of the other game, I do need to hop in with the Illuvium squad to get things all set up before they go live. So I'll have to call it here, unfortunately for now, but you'll see me on the Illuvium stream in just a couple of minutes. So I hope to see you there. Thank you for tuning in onto the personal stream here, but there'll be more to come on Illuviums. Thank you all once again, and I will see you on the flip side.